Phil the pharmacist. You call yourself the MacGyver of medications. Why?
Because you have to take care of your patients. When the patient comes in, they need something, you have to figure out a way to get it for them. So we have primary children's hospitals down in Salt Lake. We have an abnormally huge number of calls for medications they can't get elsewhere because we will go find powders, we'll take adult dosage forms, we'll get the injectable form, we'll do whatever it takes to get to our patients.
And so if you can't just give them the straight up prescription in capsule form or pill form or whatever, then you have to compound it. You go find the ingredients and you put it together so they can get it in some form.
Yeah, you don't want to have to do that. I mean, you don't get paid enough to do it. You call 6 different manufacturers, you go to every single secondary wholesaler, you do everything you can to get for them. But even then, we're failing. People are going without their medications.
Yeah, and you say by noon every day, it's not unusual for you to have 20 prescriptions that you can't fill if you don't go to some extraordinary lengths.
If it's 20, I feel good about life.
Yeah, that's a good day.
Because you know that these people are going without, and it breaks your heart to watch it.
Okay, explain APIs.
If you make a chocolate chip cookie, if the chocolate chip isn't perfect, the cookie's never going to be great. Chocolate chip is the active ingredient inside of our drugs. So the API is the actual active ingredient. If you buy amoxicillin, there's amoxicillin, and then there's other things in it. The amoxicillin, the actual active ingredient, is being produced majority in China and some in India.
I saw a statistic that said 97% of antibiotics are coming out of China.
So the last time America made an antibiotic was 2004.
Seriously? Now, we can't be that short-sighted. We know we have an adversarial relationship with China. We know that we're always threatening and or imposing tariffs. There's tension back and forth. So at any point, if they just said no more exporting to the U.S. of these antibiotics, how long before we just run out?
A month.
Really?
Yeah.
So fighting infections post-surgically, people getting strep or infections from cuts or stepping on a nail or whatever that can flourish without antibiotics and a person could go septic, we wouldn't have what was necessary to fight that off.
No, economic pressures have pushed on hospitals and pharmacies to a point where you keep maybe 3 days worth of medication in your store. After 3 days, you'd be dried up from what your normal patterns are. We think we're so smart with this on-time inventory system, but we don't keep backups. In 2021, kids' amoxicillin completely disappeared. Have you ever seen a dad cry at the end of the day because he can't get his medication for his kid?
If this is news to you, I'll raise your hand. Okay, that's what I thought. Why does nobody know this?
I always say pharmacy's not very sexy. You know, I mean, there's a lot better topics that people like talking about, but